Welcome to Hudson Raider basketball on the River Channel. Tonight we are covering the home opener for the Hudson girls basketball team. They are coming off a loss to Roseville Tuesday, 64-22. This is another non-conference opponent tonight. They'll be taking on Baldwin Woodville from the Middle Border Conference. Big River schedule getting underway for the Hudson Raiders here in a week or two. But another non-conference tilt tonight. Let's hear the starters from Baldwin Woodville. Maddie Kulo, a sophomore guard, number 13. The other guard, a junior, number 31, Abby Klopp. The other guard, a senior, 5'6", Heidi Hines, number 41. The forward, Alyssa Nilsson, a freshman, a 5'8" freshman. And then at senior, a junior, Michaela Slime. For the Raiders tonight. Starting at guard, we've got Kendra Wittes, a 5'6" guard, senior. Also playing the guard, Ellie Whitaker, a guard, 5'9", senior. Sarah Cryer, one of the forwards, 5'9", senior. She is a team captain. And also a forward, Maggie Kaler, a 5'8" sophomore. Katie Fox, the other forward, 5'11". She dons number 15, and she's a junior. Against Roseville, the Raiders played quite deeply. They actually played several different players. Anna Paquette, a freshman, entered the game, and Jordan Huber, a sophomore, 5'7" sophomore, led the team with 9 points. So I'm sure we will see her this evening, number 14. But taking the tip for the Raiders will be Katie Fox, 5'11" junior, and she will be up against 5'11" Michaela Slind, number 33 of Baldwin Woodville. So we're set to go here at the East Gym at Hudson High School, and it looks like the Raiders will take the tip, handled by Sarah Cryer, and she kicks it back to Kendra Wittes. Wittes over to Maggie Kaler. Kaler drives to the top of the key, and then kicks it back out to Wittes. Wittes over back to Kaler on the wing. Back out to Katie Fox. Katie Fox tries to get it in there, but down into the post, but we've got a kick ball, and the Raiders will retain possession at the baseline. Maggie Kaler set to inbound for the Raiders. Gets it nice, clean inbound into Sarah Cryer, but Cryer can't get the ball to go into the hole, and Baldwin Woodville takes it back the other way. Almost loses it. Whitaker hits the floor going for the ball, but Baldwin Woodville able to retain possession. Now they get it over to Kulo. Kulo on the wing down into the post to Alyssa Nilsson, and she gets it to go. Baldwin Woodville takes a 2-0 lead. Now the Raiders facing the pressure. Kaler handling the ball, and she will dribble to attempt to beat it. Baldwin Woodville gets the turnover, and Woodville in the fast break, and they will get it up and in. Maddie Kulo. Kulo had a nice game in their 50-40 win over Prescott Tuesday night. Raiders this time will pass through the pressure, and they get it up the court. Kendra Wittes was looking for Katie Fox down below the basket, but Baldwin Woodville able to stop it, but it is a foul on Slind. So that's Slind's first foul of the evening. Raiders set up their offense. Whitaker over to Kendra Wittes. Wittes down into the post to Cryer. Cryer kicks it out to the wing, but it's through the legs of Maggie Kaler, and Baldwin Woodville will take possession of the ball, leading 4-0 with 6:29 remaining in the first quarter. And Woodville pushes the ball up court in a hurry. Gets it over to Kulo. Kulo kicks it out. Now they're back to the wing. Top of the key now with Michaela Slind. Slind looking down into the post, but it's stolen away by Cryer. And the Raiders pushing it. Get it up to Katie Fox. Fox can't get it to go. And I believe we're going to have a foul coming up here on the Raiders. A push off on Katie Fox, and that will be her first foul of the evening. First foul for Katie Fox and first team foul on the Raiders. Now Hudson will set up the press. Baldwin Woodville looked like they had it beat, but Whitaker able to get in there and tip that ball away. Now they'll kick it out to Whitaker for three. Three from the wing for Whitaker, and bounces off the rim. And here comes Woodville. And that Raiders with a steal. Katie Fox coming in from behind to pull it away. Wittes handling the ball now for Hudson. Wittes over to Whitaker. Whitaker now to Cryer. Cryer inbounds to Katie Fox. Katie Fox making some room. Lets it go and gets it in. Katie Fox, a little finger roll and gets it to go. Cuts the lead to 4-2 Baldwin Woodville. They'll enter it into the post there to Nilsson, and now firing from three. That's Kulo, and they'll give her a deuce there. Extends the lead to 6-2 Baldwin Woodville. Here comes Wittes. Wittes pushing the ball. She'll take it herself and can't get it to go, and now Woodville will take possession. Abby Klopp handling the ball, kicks it over to the wing, and Michaela Slind. Slind back to Klopp over in the corner. Klopp uses the glass, can't get it to go. Rebound for the Raiders is Maggie Kaler, and she gets fouled. Foul going to be called on Kulo, and that is her first. Two team fouls now on Baldwin Woodville. 4:46 remaining in the first quarter, and Hudson trailing 6-2. Jordan Huber enters the game for the Raiders, number 14. A sophomore, she scored 9 points Tuesday night against Roseville. Raiders breaking the press with the pass, and Huber is called for a travel. Lifted that back foot, and the officials call it. It'll be Baldwin Woodville possession from center court. The inbounds from Klopp. Now they kick it over top of the key three for Netta Garretts, and she can't get it to go. The rebound to Sarah Cryer. Raiders will push the ball. Kick it up to Katie Fox. Now Fox back over to Wittes. Wittes into the corner for Maggie Kaler. Kaler over to Huber, and Kendra Wittes will set up the offense once again here for Hudson. Wittes surveying the defense, kicks it over to Huber. Huber back to Wittes. Now Huber will take it to the free throw line before she kicks it out to Cryer. And baseline shot there by Kendra Wittes, can't get it to go. Baldwin Woodville comes up the rebound, but the Raiders hustle there, get the ball back, and now we've got a jump ball. Possession will go towards Baldwin Woodville. It will be Blackhawks basketball. Nice hustle play there by Hudson, and Baldwin Woodville matches the play. Anna Paquette enters the game for Maggie Kaler. Paquette, a freshman, 5'6", freshman guard. So Baldwin Woodville gets the ball across the center line, and they're pushing it. Kicks it over to McKenna Jensen. Jensen can't get it to go, and the Raiders able to come up with the rebound. Here comes Kendra Wittes. Wittes kicks it over to Huber. Huber shoots the three, bounces it off the rim, and I believe we're going to have a foul coming up here on Hudson. Sarah Cryer, her first foul of the evening, and two team fouls. Baldwin Woodville will make some substitutions here. And the Blackhawks try to inbound the ball. Huber knocks it away. 3:29 remaining in the first quarter. Baldwin Woodville leading 6-2 over Hudson. Blackhawks try to shoot it all the way down the court there, and not going to happen. The Raiders step in front of it. Huber and Paquette taking the ball from Baldwin Woodville. Now Huber over to Katie Fox. Fox out to Paquette. Paquette dribble, kicks it over, back over to Huber. Huber will take it into the lane. Shot was deflected, and Baldwin Woodville takes possession. Stopped at the top of the key. Maddie Bishop, and now kicks it over to Heidi Hines. Hines tries to get it into the post, but it will go out of bounds. Hines looking for Alicia Holmberg, and Hudson will get the ball here on the opposite baseline. Have to beat the press once again. They get it to Paquette. Paquette over to Wittes. Wittes taking the ball down the court, hits the floor, and Baldwin Woodville comes up with the ball. Kick it over to Heidi Hines. Hines over to Maria Kiefer. Kiefer can't get it to go. Loose ball situation. It's going to be Hudson basketball. Ball bounces off of Kiefer, and the Raiders with the basketball. Maggie Kohler will be the inbounds passer here for the Raiders. Baldwin Woodville also reinserts their starters. Slynn back in the game for Baldwin Woodville. Wittes was looking down the court for Kaler, and pass just came a little bit late. Broken up that time by Paquette. And the ball will be retained by Baldwin Woodville. Whitaker back into the ball game for Hudson. Kulo into the game for Baldwin Woodville. They will kick it out at the top of the key to Hannah Borgeson. Borgeson over to Klopp. And Klopp will dribble it over to the wing. Try to set up the offense down in the post. Get it down to Michaela Slynn. Slynn kicks it back out to Klopp. Now Klopp surveys the defense, tried to get it back down to Slynn. Slynn moving without the ball, but can't get open. Now they try to kick it out. Raiders come up with the turnover. Here comes Anna Paquette. Paquette gets it to go off the turnover, and it's 6-4. Hudson cuts the lead to 2. Moving ahead here to Michaela Slynn. Slynn over to the corner. They'll take the three. No good. Slynn comes up with a rebound and will try to lay it in. I'm not sure how that was a travel. How that wasn't a travel. She threw the ball up and came up with the own rebound without the ball hitting anything, but they will give Slynn the hoop. Slynn does pick up her second foul of the evening. Cryer and Wittes back in the game here for Hudson. Here's Whitaker. Whitaker over to Wittes. Wittes now over to Cryer. Whitaker across the court to Wittes. Wittes to the top of the key. 3-ball there for Cryer, and she can't get it to go. Baldwin Woodville on their way down the court here. Klopp with the ball, defended by Whitaker. Klopp over to Nilsson. Nilsson back over to Klopp. Klopp wide open for the 2. Klopp found a hole behind the defense there. The Raiders didn't cover up backside, and so Nilsson will pick up a foul. Her first and the 4th team foul for Baldwin Woodville. The Raiders with 2 team fouls. Raiders inbound the ball. It'll be Whitaker from the top of the key, setting up the offense. She fires it up for 3, and it's no good. Baldwin Woodville will move the ball up the court on their side now. Kick it over for the wing. 3-ball there by Netta Garretts, and it is good. And that will extend the Baldwin Woodville lead to 13-4. Kendra Wittes taking the ball up the court there and gets fouled. The call on Netta Garretts. 5th team foul on Baldwin Woodville, and the Raiders will be in the bonus here shortly. Paquette surveying the defense, kicks it over to Whitaker. Whitaker couldn't get anything going in the post. Now they'll kick it down to Cryer on the baseline. Cryer back to the top of the key. Kick it over to Whitaker, and Whitaker's going to travel. So another turnover by Hudson, and Baldwin Woodville will have 11 seconds here to try to extend a 9-point lead. Inbounds from Klopp. Klopp handling the ball. 5 seconds remaining. Klopp's going to have to find a shot here. And I believe they get it off, but it's not going to go in. Matikulo tried to get the shot but couldn't get it in. So at the end of one period, the score, Baldwin Woodville 13, the Hudson Raiders 4. We'll be right back with the second quarter. Second quarter about to begin, and the Hudson Raiders will start with possession, trailing 13-4, but they've played a pretty competitive contest, just haven't been able to get the shots to fall. So here's Maggie Kohler inbounding, gets it over to Kendra Wittes. Now it's out to Jordan Huber, back over to Kohler. Wittes looking for a place to go with the ball, gets it over to Paquette. Paquette back to Kohler. Kohler can't get it to go, but she will be shooting two. The foul on Baldwin Woodville, and that's their 6th team foul. The call on Kulo, that's her 2nd. So here's Kohler shooting two. And that one's going to come off the rim as well. Kohler's 2nd attempt. Trying to put a 5 on the board, and she does. So the lead now, Baldwin Woodville 13-5, 7:44 left in the second quarter. And Paquette sticking her arm in there to get the ball out of there, but it will go out of bounds. Baldwin Woodville will keep the rock. Raiders have hustled on defense. They're not covering up, though, in the corner there. And Baldwin Woodville able to inbound it to Netta Garretts. Garretts over to McNamara. McNamara drives, kicks it out to Klopp. Klopp back down low to Alyssa Nilsson. Nilsson gets it to go, her 2nd basket of the night, 15-5, Baldwin Woodville. And Huber tried to take it down the left side and kick it over to Kohler, but the ball goes off Baldwin Woodville's foot. Raiders will retain possession. Kohler will do the inbounding. Whitaker back in the game for Hudson. Here's Kohler. Tried to get it to Fox. Fox able to get it, but not until she gets out to the free throw line. Kohler down in the post, runs out of room, and takes a shot, but doesn't get in there. Fox will pick up the foul there. And that is Katie Fox's 2nd foul of the evening. Cryer will come into the game, and Fox will hit the bench. Klopp inbounding for Baldwin Woodville. They take it all the way up the court, and then they run out of some room, and that's going to be a travel. Maddie Bishop just couldn't control the pass, and then when she got it, her legs were tied up and had nowhere to go. Hudson inbounds it, gets it over to Wittes. Wittes across the timeline, over to Cryer. Cryer takes it down the lane, can't get the layup to go, and we're going to have an over-the-back call here on Kohler. Kohler's 1st foul of the evening, 4th team foul on the Raiders. Klopp inbounding for the Raiders, or for Baldwin Woodville, gets it out to Heidi Hines. Back to Klopp. Klopp up to Nilsson. Nilsson takes it over the wing and kicks it back out to Klopp. Klopp will set the offense. Klopp over to the wing there with Hines. Hines can't get the 3 to go. Here's Klopp. Resetting. And Klopp over to Hines. Hines to Garretts. Garretts back over to Nilsson, and Nilsson is fouled. I believe that will be on Cryer. Yep, it will be on Cryer. That is Cryer's second. 15 foul on Hudson. They'll kick it out to the wing. And Hines misses the 3-ball. Here comes the Raiders. Kendra Wittes over to Whitaker. Whitaker back to Wittes. And Wittes to Kohler. Kohler down to the corner there, and Huber. Huber gets it down to the post, and Baldwin Woodville covering up. Here comes Garrett's with the ball for Woodville. Back over to Klopp at the top of the key. Huber putting some pressure on her. Yeah, 5 seconds. Huber had her covered up, and 5-second violation called on Klopp. Great defense there by Jordan Huber. Raiders in a 10-point hole with 5:42 remaining in the second quarter. They got to get some baskets to start falling in. Here's Wittes. Wittes tries to kick it out to Whitaker, and Whitaker lost her footing. The officials say Baldwin Woodville touched the ball. Raiders will retain possession. Kohler inbounding for Hudson. Kohler had 2 points in the game against Roseville Tuesday night. Kohler over to Wittes. Wittes to Huber. Huber looking to get it down to Kohler. Nothing doing. She gets it to Kohler on the wing. Kohler drives to the elbow and called for travel. So the Raiders turn it over again, and Baldwin Woodville with another opportunity. Klopp over to Hines. Hines kicks it over to Kiefer. Kiefer taking it down the court, kicks it to Bishop. Bishop at the top of the key, back over to Klopp where Huber will defend. Klopp gets it to Hines. And Hines will drive it to the top of the key, gets it over to Klopp. Klopp looking to make the 3-ball off the glass, couldn't get it to go. Here come the Raiders. Wittes controls, surveys the defense, gets it down to Kohler in the lane, but Kohler's running out of room down there. Whitaker now over to Kaylin Jenkins. Jenkins called for travel. Kaylin Jenkins, 6-foot freshman, entering the game for the first time there. The Raiders will call a timeout. Get an opportunity to talk about it a little bit here. Trailing 15-5 with 4:37 remaining in the first quarter. Scoring for the Raiders so far this evening, Anna Paquette with 2, Katie Fox with 2, and Maggie Kohler was 1 for 2 at the free throw line, so 1 point for Kohler. Fouls, Katie Fox with 2, Sarah Cryer with 2, and Kohler with 1. Baldwin Woodville, Maddie Kulo has 4 points, Netta Garrett with the 3, Abby Klopp with 2, Michaela Slynn 2, Alyssa Nilsson with 4. Fouls, Kulo has 2, Slynn has 2, Garrett's has 1, and Nilsson has 1. 4:37 remaining in the first half. Baldwin Woodville will come out of the timeout with possession. Klopp doing the inbounding. It's out to Kiefer, who's undefended. Back to Klopp. And Klopp will push it. They get it up to Bishop. Bishop now down in the corner there to Holmberg, and Holmberg draws a foul. The foul called on Kaylin Jenkins. And Baldwin Woodville now here trying to inbound it. Get it out to Bishop. Bishop over to Hines. Kiefer handling now. Kiefer over to Hines. Nothing doing in the post. Bishop for 3, and she can't get it to go. The rebound, Hines, and she will throw it off the leg of Kohler. Raiders will make a substitution here. Katie Fox and Paquette into the game for Hudson. Paquette number 10, Katie Fox number 15. Klopp will inbound for Baldwin Woodville. And she will get to Hines. Hines fires it up from 3. Nothing doing. Baldwin Woodville able to control though. It's it over to Kiefer. Kiefer picks up her dribble. Now she gets it back over to Hines. Hines will put the ball on the court. Hines gets a pick. Nothing doing. Back over to Klopp. Klopp with Wittes guarding her. Now there's a switch. Whitaker kicks it over to Jensen. Jensen can't get it to go. Ball off of Kiefer, and the Hudson Raiders will take possession. Katie Fox inbounding for Hudson. Gets it over to Whitaker. Whitaker pushing it to Paquette. Paquette back to Whitaker. Whitaker to Wittes. And Wittes back over to Whitaker from the wing to get it down to the post to Katie Fox, but Katie Fox can't get it to go. Kaylin Jenkins gets the rebound, but throws it right at Klopp, and here comes Klopp. Klopp kicks it over to the corner, and that was Kiefer, but Kiefer can't get it to go, and Fox will rebound. Wittes will bring the ball up the court for Hudson, get it over to Whitaker from the wing. And here's Wittes. Take it down and can't get the layup to go. Fox nearly had the rebound. Now Paquette controlling. Gets it over to Whitaker. Wittes drives baseline, runs out of room, kicks it back out to Whitaker, and she's out to Fox. Baldwin Woodville playing some nice defense here. Heidi Hines getting her hands on that one. Raiders will retain possession. Fox will control the inbounds pass. Netta Garretts enters the game for Baldwin Woodville. Fox to Wittes. Wittes to Whitaker, and Whitaker loses the handle. There will be free throws coming up. The foul on Abby Klopp. That is her first. Whitaker, the 1-and-1, and she makes the front end of it. Raiders now in the bonus. And the back end as well. 2 points for Whitaker, and the Raiders have cut the lead to 15-7. Hannah Worth, senior guard, making her first appearance of the evening, number 3. And Baldwin Woodville will get called for the travel there. McKenna Jensen tried to pick up her dribble. Worth was coming in behind her and took an extra step. So the Raiders get the ball back here and an opportunity to cut into this lead some more. Wittes with the ball, gets it over to Whitaker. Whitaker tried to get it back over to Worth, and a foul called on Baldwin Woodville, and Worth will be shooting a 1-and-1 here. First foul on Bishop. And here's Worth. And she gets it to go. Hits both the back and the front of the rim, but falls through the net, and the Raiders now with 8 points. And she makes the second. So Hannah Worth takes the lead down to 6, 15-9 now Baldwin Woodville. Baldwin Woodville breaks the press easily. Gets it over to Garretts. Garretts to Klopp. Klopp defended by Wittes. Gets it over to Hines. Hines back to Garretts. Garretts tries to get into the post. And we've got a loose ball. Looks like Paquette comes up with it for the Raiders. Here comes Hudson. Wittes. Over to Whitaker. Whitaker back to Wittes. Now Wittes to Hannah Worth. Worth from the wing, now back to Wittes. Wittes will reset the offense. Kicks it over to Paquette. Paquette to Kaylin Jenkins. Jenkins back to Paquette, now back down to Jenkins. Jenkins surrounded by 3 Blackhawks, and now the Raiders will send it cross court, and that's going to be Whitaker. Rebound by Jenkins, but she can't control it. Baldwin Woodville stepped on the baseline. Huber enters the game, and Worth will come out. Huber had 9 Tuesday and has yet to get a basket here tonight. The Blackhawks will call a timeout here. So the Raiders with a bit of a run here, 4 unanswered points, and they cut the lead to 15-9 with 1:13 remaining in the second quarter, and they will have the ball with an opportunity to possibly cut this down to a 1-possession game. Raiders have played well, just have not been able to get the ball into the basket. They've turned it over a few times, but they've looked pretty decent on offense. Just got to get some of those layups to drop. Paquette will inbound. And Paquette into Jenkins. Jenkins gets it to go, and that will cut the lead to 15-11. The freshman 6-footer gets it to go. Kaylin Jenkins, 15-11. Baldwin Woodville. Here come the Raiders. Klopp takes it down. Baldwin Woodville can't get to go, but it looks like the Raiders stepped on the baseline. Nope, they'll call a foul on Wittes. That's her first foul of the evening, but that will put Baldwin Woodville in the bonus. So I believe it'll be Bishop here shooting the 1-and-1. Maddie Bishop, a sophomore, and she misses the front end. Raiders retain possession. 49 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Kick it over to Paquette. Paquette to Wittes. Wittes handles from the top of the key, now over to Huber. Huber takes it down the lane, but can't get it to go, and Baldwin Woodville picks up the pill. Klopp looking to get it to Nilsson, but the Raiders' Wittes steps in front of it, and now she'll take a wild shot. Jenkins able to get the rebound, kicks it over to Wittes. Wittes out to Paquette, over to Huber. Huber firing from 3, and Baldwin Woodville able to get the rebound, but I believe the foul is going to be called, and I believe Jenkins is going to go to the line. So a foul called on Nilsson. That's her second. And the team's 9th penalty, Kaylin Jenkins will step to the line here to shoot 1-and-1. Jenkins made a big shot a few possessions ago, and here she is, an opportunity to put some more points on the board for the Raiders. Shooting 1-and-1. She gets the first to go. Cuts the lead to 15-12. Just 8 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. The Raiders now have it down to a 1-possession game. She can get this one to go. It's a 2-point game. And no good is the second one. But they say the ball is off of Holmberg. So the Raiders with another opportunity here. Paquette will inbound for Hudson. 5.8 seconds remaining in the first half. Get it to Huber. Huber's going to take it to the lane and fire. She's fouled. by Netta Garretts. And now Huber will be shooting 2. 2 seconds remaining in this first half. And Huber will make the first. Huber makes this one. It's down to a 1-point game. 15-13 Baldwin Woodville. And Huber makes them both. So the lead now just 15-14. And Baldwin Woodville with 2 seconds here to make something happen. They fired from half court and nothing doing. So after a fairly disastrous first quarter, the Hudson Raiders recover in the second quarter and cut the lead to 15-14. We'll be back with the second half of action and first half scoring updates in just a moment. Second half about to get going here at Hudson High School. The Hudson Raiders trailing Baldwin Woodville 15-14. They were down 13-4 at the end of the first quarter, but came back with a 10-2 second quarter over Baldwin Woodville, and that's how we're here at 15-14. Scoring for the Raiders, Hannah Worth with 2, Anna Paquette 2, Maggie Kohler has 1, Jordan Huber with 2, Katie Fox with 2, Ellie Whitaker with 2, and the freshman Kaylin Jenkins with 3. For Baldwin Woodville, Maddie Kulo with 4, Netta Garretts with the 3-pointer. She's got 3 points. Abby Klopp with 2 points. Slind with 2 points. And Alyssa Nilsson with 4. Nilsson has 2 fouls, along with Slind, Garretts, and Kulo for Baldwin Woodville. For the Raiders, Katie Fox and Cryer both have 2 fouls. Everyone else either has 0 or just 1 foul. So the Blackhawks will start off with the ball here in the third quarter. Inbounding for Baldwin Woodville, Heidi Hines. She gets it to Klopp. Klopp over to Slind. And Slind will put the ball in the court. Now she picks up her dribble. In trouble, gets it to Klopp. And Klopp from the top of the key, defended by Whitaker. And nice pick there, set up by Kulo, and Kulo able to draw a foul on Whitaker. Whitaker's first foul of the evening and the first team foul for Hudson here in the second half. Klopp will inbound for Baldwin Woodville. 5'4" junior guard, Abby Klopp. Kulo with the ball now. Kulo gets her pocket picked, and here come the Raiders. On the break, they get to Kohler. Kohler gets it to go, and the Raiders take the lead 16-15. Baldwin Woodville back down the floor. Klopp with the ball in the wing, defended by Whitaker. Back over to Klopp in the corner, and Klopp will draw a foul. I believe that will be on Whitaker. It is on Whitaker. 2 quick ones on her. And Klopp will shoot 2. Misses the first. Baldwin Woodville 0 for 1 from the free throw line in the first half. And 1 for 2 here in the second half. Raiders breaking the pass, or breaking the press with the pass. Get it up to Wittes. Wittes over to Whitaker. Whitaker to Katie Fox. Fox down into the point to Cryer. Cryer gets it to go. And the Raiders break out to an 18-16 lead, their largest lead of the evening. Baldwin Woodville down to the elbow, and it's going to be an offensive foul called on Kulo. That's her 3rd foul of the evening. Will not count as it. Here come the Raiders. Wittes to Whitaker, now back to Wittes. Wittes over to Kohler. Kohler dribbles, now kicks it over to Cryer on the wing. Back over to Whitaker, top of the key. Tried to get it back over to Cryer, but it's stolen, and now the Raiders come back with the ball. Kohler controls, gets it down to Wittes. She can't get it to go. And it'll be Baldwin Woodville ball. Touched by the Raiders. And the Blackhawks, Abby Klopp will inbound. Raiders set up some pressure, but Baldwin Woodville able to get it across the timeline. Heidi Hins over to Klopp. Klopp sets up the offense. Whitaker defending, now they kick it over to Nilsson. Nilsson from the wing. Fox got a hand in there, but Baldwin Woodville able to come up with it. Hines now down to Slind. Slind loses the handle. The Raiders have it. Here comes Wittes. Wittes on the break, gets it to Kohler. Can't get it to go. Katie Fox comes up with it, kicks it back over to Whitaker. Whitaker, 3-ball, and she gets it to go. Kendra Wittes with the 3-pointer. And the Raiders lead at 21-16. Baldwin Woodville now trying to make something happen. Abby Klopp over to Nilsson. Nilsson back over to Hines. Hines to Slind. And Slind back over to Hines. Hines at the top of the key looking for something there. And timeout Baldwin Woodville. Good timeout there by Coach Eric Harmon. Baldwin Woodville losing the handle on this game quickly. Raiders with 7 points so far in this quarter. Baldwin Woodville with just 1. Coach Eric Harmon wants to talk it over before the Raiders get too much more momentum because they've got it going now. 3-ball there by Wittes, and some very nice defense by Hudson has spurred this run by the Raiders. Coach Joe Benke of Hudson down there firing up his ladies, trying to keep it going. Hudson Raiders looking for their first victory of the season. They lost Tuesday night to Roseville. Coming into this contest 0-1. Baldwin Woodville won Tuesday night at Prescott. So Baldwin Woodville comes into the contest 1-0. Heidi Hines will inbound for Baldwin Woodville. Hines down to Slind. Slind back to Hines, and looks like Huber's going to get called for a foul there. Going to be a block on Jordan Huber. That's the 3rd team foul for Hudson. Tried to kick it over to Slind, but Katie Fox was able to knock it away. Baldwin Woodville will keep the ball. Get it out to Slind at the elbow. She kicks it back out to Kulo. Kulo for 3. She gets it to go. And that will cut the lead to 21-19 after the 3-ball from Kulo. Whitaker with the ball, nearly stolen away. And now they get a hand in there again. Paquette controls for Hudson. Back over to Whitaker. Whitaker to Cryer. Cryer over to Huber. Huber takes it to the elbow, kicks it back out to Fox. Fox thinks about it, then she shoots the 3, but it's an air ball. And Baldwin Woodville will take possession. Kendra Wittes will come in for Whitaker. Baldwin Woodville gets it in. And they get it up to Kulo, but Raiders are going to get called for another foul. This one's going to be on Wittes. And the Raiders, with 4 team fouls in less than 4 minutes of basketball. Maggie Kohler enters the game. Katie Fox comes out. That's really what spurred that comeback for the Raiders. The second quarter was getting to the free throw line. It looks like Baldwin Woodville may get into the bonus here pretty soon. 4 team fouls already for Hudson. Slynn loses the handle off of her knee, and it'll be Raider basketball. Slynn tried to drive the lane, take it over to the left side, but Raiders got a hand in there, and Slynn just lost the handle. Kohler inbounds to Wittes. Wittes back to Kohler. Get it ahead to Huber. Huber back to Wittes. Wittes will drive the lane, kick it back out. And that's Paquette. Paquette with the 2. And the Raiders back out to a 23-19 lead. 3:39 remaining in the third quarter. Slynn kicks it out to Hines. Hines over to Klopp. Klopp to Kulo. Kulo to Slynn. Slynn will take it to the elbow. Trying to make something happen, get down in the post. There's the shot from the corner by Hines. She can't get it to go, and Wittes will bring the ball up the court for the Raiders. Gets it to the sophomore Kohler. Now down to the other sophomore, Huber. Shot by Sarah Cryer, the senior. The 2 from the post, and the Hudson Raiders extend the lead back out to 6. Fast break opportunity there for Baldwin Woodville, but they can't get it to go. And the Raiders on their way. A block called on Hines. That's her first foul of the evening. Sarah Cryer with 4 points here in the third quarter. The Raiders lead at 25-19 with 2:51 remaining in the third quarter. Maddie Bishop enters the game for Baldwin Woodville. Maggie Kohler inbounds, kicks it over to Wittes. Wittes down to Huber. Huber back to Kohler, down to the post to Cryer. Back out to Huber for 3. Got it! 3-pointer for Jordan Huber, and the Raiders now out to a 9-point lead. Once again, Coach Eric Harmon of Baldwin Woodville calls a timeout. The Raiders scored 14 points in the first half. They already have 14 points here with 2:33 remaining in the third quarter. Raiders getting hot. 2 3-point baskets here in the second half of play. Wittes with 1 3, Huber with another one. Sarah Cryer 4 points in this quarter. Kohler with a bucket, and Paquette with the bucket. Hudson comes out to defend a 9-point lead. Hines will inbound for Baldwin Woodville. Get it over to Netta Garretts. Garretts had a 3-pointer early on in this contest. Back over to Hines. Hines now to Bishop. And Bishop over to Garretts. Garretts kicks it over to Jensen. And Jensen to Hines. Huber gets her hand in there, and she's called for a foul, her second of the evening. Raiders with 5 team fouls here already in this third quarter. Hines will inbound, gets it to Slynn. Slynn tries to get it into the post, and a turnover there. Fox able to pick up the pill, and the Raiders with the ball. Kicks it over to Huber. Huber down to Paquette. Paquette now back over to Wittes. Wittes to Paquette. Raiders moving well without the ball. Can't get anything going so far. Paquette drives it down there, but Baldwin Woodville gets to the ball in a hurry down in the lane. They defend well. And the Raiders called for a block there, and that's going to be on Wittes, and that will be her third foul. That's the only player for Hudson. Actually, they'll call it on Kohler. Wow. So they call the foul on Kohler. That's just her second. So Garretts makes the first of 2 free throws. Cuts the lead to 28-20. Raiders will send in senior guard, 5'5" guard Hannah Worth. And here's Garrett's for the second of 2 free throws. Bounces it off the front of the rim. And it's a rebound by Kohler. Kohler gets it to Wittes. All the way up the court to Katie Fox, and Fox can't get it to go. Slind with the rebound for Baldwin Woodville. They're going to call a foul here on Worth, her first of the evening. 7 team fouls, though, on the Raiders, and that will put Baldwin Woodville in the bonus. They'll shoot a 1-1. So with 1:25 left in the third quarter, Baldwin Woodville already in the bonus. So Slind will step up here to shoot the front end of a 1-1. Baldwin Woodville tonight just 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Slind makes the first one. That's her first free throw attempt of the evening. Abby Klopp is 1 for 2. Netta Garrett's 1 for 2. And Bishop is 0 for 1. Slind gets it to fall. So 22-28 Hudson, 1:25 remaining. Huber with the ball, kicks it back over to Wittes. Wittes will get it over the timeline. Surveys the defense down to Huber. Huber looking to the post, nothing doing. Back out to Wittes from the wing. Kohler trying to post up Slind. And she sets a nice pick for Wittes. Over to Worth, and Worth can't get it to go. Rebound by Slind. Here comes Baldwin Woodville. Kulo from the top of the key. She gets the deuce to fall. Cuts the lead to 28-24. Kind of a defensive breakdown there for Hudson. They get a foul there on Kiefer. Kiefer, her first foul of the evening. Third team foul for Baldwin Woodville. 42 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And the Raiders will get to Huber. Over to Wittes. Wittes will drive, kicks it over to Fox. And Fox called for a travel. .37 seconds now remaining in this third quarter. Raiders lead at 28-24. Fox steps in front of it. Nice kick over to Wittes. Wittes gets it to go. Raiders 30-24 lead over Baldwin Woodville. Here come the Blackhawks. Nice pick there set by Slind, and Slind took the charge. It was a hard one. Third team foul for Katie Fox, and 8th team foul of the evening for the Raiders. Slind will shoot the 1-1 once again. So Whitaker will come in for Fox. Slind recovered well there. She took a shot. Gets the first one to go. So Slind is 3 for 3 from the free throw line. 30-25, Hudson Raiders leading over Baldwin Woodville. And gets the second one to go. So Baldwin Woodville had missed 3 of their first 5 free throws, but Slind hits 4 in a row. And Baldwin Woodville now cuts the lead to 30-26. Here come the Hudson Raiders. Whitaker over to Worth. Worth over to Jordan Huber. Huber gets it back over to Whitaker. Whitaker, pump fake, and puts it on the rim, but can't get it to go. 10 seconds remaining. Baldwin Woodville with an opportunity here. Called for a travel is Kiefer. So 5 seconds remaining for the Raiders. Whitaker will inbound. Gets it to Wittes. Wittes driving. Tried to get it over to Huber, and Baldwin Woodville got a hand on it. That's going to be it for the quarter. So the Raiders had an opportunity there, but couldn't get it to happen. But still a very productive third quarter for the Raiders. Scored just 14 points in the first half, put 16 up there in the third quarter, And pretty good output there for Baldwin Woodville, too. They put 13 up in the first quarter, just 2 in the second quarter, 11-point third quarter there for Baldwin Woodville. We'll be right back in just a second with the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter about to get underway here from Hudson High School. The Raiders will have possession here. Paquette will do the inbounding here for the Raiders. Raiders really in a good shape other than that team fouls. 8 team fouls already for Hudson, just 3 for Baldwin Woodville. So Baldwin Woodville already in the bonus. Whitaker over to Paquette, or Wittes to Paquette. Paquette loses the handle there briefly, and they'll call a 5-second violation on Paquette. So Baldwin Woodville comes up with a turnover on the first possession for Hudson. Raiders leading at 30-26. And Hines doing the inbounding here. They get it to Kiefer. Rejected, that's Kulo. And Kulo down into the paint. She gets the ball back, and Klopp will get it to go. Raiders going long. They get Cryer. Cryer gets it to go. 6 points for Sarah Cryer, and it's 32-28 Hudson. Travel going to be called right there on Kulo. She let that back leg drag, and I'm going to call that every time. Looks like maybe some blood or something on Wittes. They're going to send Wittes out of the game with an equipment. Yeah, there's the blood right there. So they're going to pull Wittes out. She's going to have to find some different shorts. Huber will come into the game for the Raiders. Maggie Kohler, the sophomore, will inbound. And here's Paquette with the rock. Freshman Anna Paquette gets it over to Kohler, and now down to senior Whitaker. Back to Paquette for 3. Good! 3 ball for Paquette, her first 3 of the evening, and she's got 7 points. Raiders lead at 35-28. Baldwin Woodville down into the paint there with Hines. She can't get it to go. There's a scrum down low. Slynn gets the ball and goes up for the basket. Can't get it to go, but she'll go to the line. And there's another foul on the Raiders. Kohler with her 3rd foul of the evening. Slynn will shoot 2. She's 4 for 4 in the evening from the free throw line. And makes this one. Wittes back in the game for Hudson. Able to get a different pair of shorts on. So Slynn to shoot the back end here. And gets it to go. 35-30. Hudson Raiders, 6:44 remaining in this one. Paquette with the ball. Loses the handle. It's going to be Raider basketball. Maddie Kulo knocked it away, but the Raiders will retain possession. Kohler over to Wittes. Wittes sets the offense. Over to Paquette, the freshman. Paquette is going to lose the basketball, but then she goes in there, forces the jump ball, but it will be Baldwin Woodville basketball. On the possession arrow. So Huber comes in for Paquette. Paquette with a big 3 there to give the Raiders 35 points. Hines inbounds for Baldwin Woodville. Gets it over to Kulo. Kulo down for Nilsson. Nilsson gets it to go. 6 points for Nilsson. And here come the Raiders. Wittes in some trouble. And the Raiders call a timeout. Good timeout there by Coach Joe Benke. The Raiders were in some trouble there, getting the ball over the timeline. And had he not called a timeout, I think the Raiders were in danger of turning the ball over there. Well, 6:11 remaining in the contest. Hudson Raiders lead by 3, 35-32. The Raiders with 9 team fouls. Baldwin Woodville with just 3. So the Raiders are going to have to pick up some whistles here on Baldwin Woodville if they want to get back to the line. Those free throws really helped the Raiders get back into this game in the second quarter. And they're a little ways away from being in a position to get to the line. So here we go. It'll be Raider basketball. Sarah Cryer will pass it in. Raiders get it to Wittes. Baldwin Woodville applying some pressure once again. Cryer to Huber. Huber's going to drive. Huber down to Fox. Fox can't get it to go. Here comes Baldwin Woodville. Kulo gets it to Hines. Hines on her knees. It's going to be a jump ball. It'll be Raider basketball.
Jump ball, possession, Hudson.
Cryer will once again do the inbounding. Baldwin Woodville sets up the press. They get it to Wittes. We got a whistle. I believe that's going to be on Baldwin Woodville. That's called on Slind. That's her third penalty of the evening. 4 team fouls in this half on Baldwin Woodville. There's Wittes over to Whitaker. Whitaker will drive baseline, put it up there. It's good. Whitaker. Ellie Whitaker, the senior guard, her first basket of the evening. She's got 4 points, put 2 free throws in the first half. Here comes Baldwin Woodville. Slind in the corner. Slind looking to drive baseline. Now she picks it up, gets it to Hines. Hines from the wing now over to Garretts. Garretts back over to Slind. Slind in the corner to Kulo. Kulo for 3. Got it. Second 3-point basket of the evening for Kulo. She has 12 points. And it's just a 2-point game now after the 3. 37-35. Baldwin Woodville calls the timeout after the basket. They want to set that press up. Raiders have struggled with the pressure, bringing the ball up the court. And I think you're going to see some more of that coming up here. Raiders' Hannah Worth with 2 points this evening. Anna Paquette with 7. Kohler, 3. Jordan Huber has 5. Katie Fox with 2. Cryer with 6. Wittes with 5. Whitaker with 4. And Kaylin Jenkins with 3 points. The Raiders have Maggie Kohler with 3 fouls. She's the only one. Actually, her and Fox have 3 fouls. For Baldwin Woodville, Kulo and Slind both have 3 fouls. Possession arrow in Baldwin Woodville's favor, but the Raiders will inbound here after the basket. Cryer into Huber, back over to Cryer, and now to Whitaker. Cryer handling the rock, gets it over to Wittes. Wittes to Huber. Huber looks to get the post, gets it down to Cryer, but Cryer loses it on the jump ball. Baldwin Woodville stuck their hands in there. Cryer looks like she kind of hurt her wrist a little bit there. Gets up gingerly, but will stay in the game. 37-35, Hudson Raider lead over Baldwin Woodville. Here comes the Blackhawks. Kick it down to Slind, and Slind gets it over to Kulo, but Kulo can't get it to go. I believe it was Katie Fox coming up with a rock. They're going to call it a jump ball, but pretty aggressive move down there by Kulo. It will be Hudson basketball on the possession arrow. Kohler will come in for Katie Fox. Cryer will inbound for Hudson. Baldwin Woodville sets up the pressure. Get it to Whitaker, now back over to Cryer, now to Wittes. Wittes gets it over the timeline, kicks it over to Whitaker from the wing. Little stutter step, takes it baseline, can't get the basket to go. Nice rebound down there by Kohler, and she put it back up and gets fouled. The penalty, the foul on Garrett's. That's her third of the night. Kohler will shoot 2. Kohler misses the first. She is 1 for 3 so far from the line this evening. Missed the front end of her last 2-shot opportunity. She's got 3 points on the evening. Raiders leading at 37-35. Kohler gets this to drop. It'll be a 3-point lead for the Raiders. And misses that one as well. So Baldwin Woodville will bring the ball up the court. Maddie Bishop kicks it over to Nilsson. Nilsson over to Klopp. Klopp defended by Whitaker. Back over to Bishop. Bishop takes it down to the baseline. Tries to get it down to the post. Raiders come up with it. Here comes Wittes. Wittes ahead to Kohler. Out to Cryer. Cryer's going to get it back out to Whitaker, and the Raiders will set up the offense. Wittes looking for the post, nothing doing. Gets it over to Huber on the wing, and here's Cryer. Back over to Whitaker. Whitaker to Huber. Huber over to Cryer. Cryer back to Wittes. Wittes trying to get into the post, but Baldwin Woodville playing some nice interior defense tonight. Baldwin Woodville will be called for a foul here. It's on Hines. It's her second of the night. 6 team fouls on Baldwin Woodville. The Raiders will be in the bonus on the next one. 3:35 remaining in this game. Slynn comes back into the game for Baldwin Woodville. 3:35 remaining. Raiders lead at 37-35. Get it to Wittes. Wittes will drive baseline and then loses the handle. It'll be Baldwin Woodville basketball with an opportunity to take the lead with a 3. Fox will come in for Kohler. Fox, a 5'11 junior. And they will inbound it. Get it across the timeline as Hines. Hines kicks it over to Slynn in the corner. Tried to go back to Hines, but the Raiders able to come up with a turnover. But now here comes Baldwin Woodville. They get a turnover of their own. It's going to be a foul called down there on Whitaker. Whitaker, her third of the night, and that will be the 10th team foul on the Raiders. So that puts Baldwin Woodville in the double bonus. Kulo will shoot 2. Kulo with 12 points tonight. Gets the first one to go, that's 13. Cuts the lead to 37-36. Baldwin Woodville can tie it up if they make the free throw here. 3:19 remaining in the game. Kulo, she misses that one, but Baldwin Woodville comes up with the basketball. Here's Klopp. Klopp will take it out to the top of the key, set up the offense. Over to Kulo on the wing. She fires from 3. Raiders come up with the rebound. Cryer. Here comes Wittes. Wittes across the timeline, gets it to Huber. Huber trying to get it down to Fox. She does. And they'll get a foul called on Kulo. That's her 4th. This point in the game with just 2:54 remaining. I don't think Coach Eric Harmon will pull the plug on her. Just 2:54 remaining. Just going to tell her maybe to slow it down a little bit. Fox is going to shoot 2. Her first trip to the free throw line. Fox had 2 points in the first half, nothing so far here in the second half. And gets the front end. So 3 points now for Katie Fox. 38-36 Hudson Raider lead. And she misses the back end. Ellie Whitaker called for a foul there, and it's her 4th of the night. And Baldwin Woodville will send Alyssa Nilsson to the free throw line. A freshman forward, 5'8". She is a starter. She's got 6 points tonight already. And she will shoot 2 since we're in the double bonus here. 38-36 Raider lead. Nilsson gets the first to go. Touched a lot of rim, but she got to go. Kohler comes in for Fox. And she misses the back end. Raiders maintain a 1-point lead now. Cryer comes up with the rock. She'll get it to Wittes. Wittes will bring it up. Wittes let the ball go out of bounds, last touched by Klopp. Raiders will inbound it with Maddie Kohler. Raiders with 2 sophomores in the game and 3 seniors. Whitaker to Kohler. Kohler looking to get it to Cryer in the post. And Cryer called for 3 seconds in the lane. Is a good call. 2:28 now remaining in the game. Hudson Raiders with a 1-point lead, 38-37. Baldwin Woodville gets it in. Here comes Kulo. Kulo ahead to Nilsson. Nilsson trying to get it in. She does to Slynn, but Slynn can't get it to go. Looks like the Raiders will be called for a foul, though. Slynn's going to go to the line. Called the foul on Kohler. That's her 4th of the night. And Slynn's going to shoot free throws. She is 6 for 6 so far this evening. 8 points, 6 of them coming from the free throw line. Gets that one to go as well. So we're tied up 38 apiece, and Baldwin Woodville will have an opportunity to take a 1-point lead when Slynn goes back out to the line. Baldwin Woodville also has the possession arrow in their favor. Raiders are in the bonus, Baldwin Woodville in the double bonus. 4 fouls for Maggie Kohler, 4 for Ellie Whitaker. No one else in any kind of foul trouble for Hudson. Maddie Kulo with 4 fouls for Baldwin Woodville. Raiders Hannah Worth with 2 points. Paquette with 7. Kohler with 3. Huber with 5. Katie Fox 3. Sarah Cryer with 6. Wittes with 7. Whitaker with 4. And Kaylin Jenkins with 3. Slynn from the free throw line. An opportunity to take the lead for Baldwin Woodville. First time in the second half. Since the opening whistle, anyway. And Slynn gets it to go. 39-38, first time they've led since the first 30 seconds of the third quarter. Now Slynn comes up with another turnover, but then gives it away. But the ball, the Raiders will get the ball here. Cryer will inbound for Hudson. 2:09 remaining. Huber comes into the game. She handles it. Kicks it back to Cryer, who gets it over to Whitaker. Whitaker back to Cryer. Cryer ahead to Huber. Huber looked for Kohler, but then tucked it back in. Here's Wittes from the top of the key. Cryer tried to set up a pick, and she will. Wittes gonna drive, and she's called for a travel. Wittes was looking for a foul, but called for the travel, and Baldwin Woodville will have the ball and the lead with 1:49 remaining. Any foul on Hudson will send Baldwin Woodville to the line for 2. Here's Klopp. Klopp covered by Whitaker. And here's Hines. Hines goes baseline, runs out of room. Cryer covers up, gets it over to Nilsson, and now over to Slind. You do not want to foul Slind. She's perfect from the free throw line. Gets it over to Klopp. Klopp resets it, gets it over to Hines for 3. No good, but Slind comes up with a rebound. Slind over to Klopp. Klopp resets it, gets a pick from Hines. Another pick there from Huber, or Kulo. And here's Slind with the ball. Gets it over to Klopp for 3, no good. The rebound. Rebound there by Hines, and she's fouled by Whitaker. Whitaker over the back, and that is her 5th foul of the evening. And that will send her to the bench. So the Raiders will get a quasi timeout here with Whitaker fouling out. Coach Joe Benke will talk it over with the ladies. Raiders trailing by 1 with 56 seconds remaining, and Baldwin Woodville is going to go to the line for 2. Baldwin Woodville in the second half of this contest has shot 16 free throws and have missed just 4 of them. 12 of 16 from the line here in the second half. And Hines makes it good on that one. Her first points of the contest. Makes it 40-38 Baldwin Woodville. And makes the second one. Blackhawks up by 3. Raiders get it over to Paquette, now back to Cryer. Cryer ahead for Huber. Huber nearly loses, she does lose the handle but recovers. In the corner under some heavy pressure, and it's going to be over and back violation here on Hudson. They'll turn it over again, and Baldwin Woodville will get the ball here with 42 seconds left, leading by 3. Raiders will bring Katie Fox in, bring Kohler out. Here's Hines, gets it over to Klopp. Klopp running out of room. Baldwin Woodville calls timeout. Looked like Baldwin Woodville may lose possession there. Eric Harmon wasn't going to take a chance, calls a timeout. And they'll talk it over here with the 3-point lead. If Baldwin Woodville can get any kind of points here at all, it's going to make it pretty tough for the Raiders. 33 seconds left, just about anything can happen. But if Baldwin Woodville can get a 2-possession lead with 33 seconds remaining, and it'll be difficult for Hudson. Baldwin Woodville is out of timeouts now. The Hudson Raiders have 2 remaining. Go through the scoring here. Kaylin Jenkins with 3 for Hudson. Whitaker with 4. Wittes with 5. Sarah Cryer with 6, all in the second half. Katie Fox with 3. Jordan Huber with 5. Maggie Kohler with 3. Anna Paquette with 7. And Hannah Worth with 2. Whitaker has fouled out. Kohler has 4 fouls but is on the bench. Hines will inbound for Baldwin Woodville. Slind was trying to go to the backside there, but didn't get the pass. Here comes Nilsson. Nilsson kicks it out for Kulo. Kulo over to Hines. Kick it back over to Slynn. Slynn loses her footing. Loose ball, and they're going to call a jump ball, and that will be Baldwin Woodville basketball. So the Blackhawks will keep the basketball. 17 seconds remaining. The Raiders are probably going to have to foul here. You do not want to foul Slynn. We'll get it over to Kulo, and the Raiders get the foul. Paquette called for the foul, her first foul of the evening, and that will send Kulo to the line. Kulo is 1 of 2 tonight from the line. Fires that one up in a hurry, and it's no good. That's what the Raiders needed. So Hudson will call timeout. Trailing by 3 with 14.9 seconds remaining. If Kulo is able to get this next free throw through, it will be a 4-point lead for Hudson. They'll need 2 possessions or a 3-pointer and a foul. Kulo so far tonight, 1 of 3 from the line. She does have 2 3-pointers and 3 2-point field goals. 13 points. The leading scorer in this contest is Kulo. She is a sophomore guard, 5'8". Both these teams playing a lot of underclassmen. Baldwin Woodville tonight starting 1 senior, 2 juniors, a sophomore and a freshman. Kulo makes that one go. That's a 4-point lead for Baldwin Woodville. Raiders got to make something happen in a hurry. Wittes does the right thing, drives it, gets the penalty. The foul on Slind over there. And that will send Wittes to the line. You can score with the clock stopped. That's how you get back into the game. Wittes gets the first to go. This is her first trip of the night to the free throw line. Katie Fox back in the game for the Raiders. She adds a height dimension to this lineup. 5'11" is Katie Fox. And Wittes gets the second to go, cut the lead to 2 points, 42-40. Baldwin Woodville gets the basketball in, and Kulo will go back to the line. Foul on Huber, that's her third of the night. 2 shots here for Kulo. She's 2 of 4 tonight. And misses the first. She doesn't have a real pronounced pre-shot sequence. She just steps up there and fires. The Raiders now just down by 2 points, 8 seconds remaining. The Raiders do have the possession arrow in their favor. They are in the 1-1. Baldwin Woodville, the 2-shot bonus. Kulo will shoot the back end of this one in just a few seconds. (42-40). The sophomore Maddie Kulo with the chance to make it a 3-point game for Baldwin Woodville. Gets it to go. 3 of 6 from the line. Here comes Wittes for Hudson. Wittes looking to get fouled. Gets over to Paquette. Paquette for 3. Doesn't get it to go through the basket. An air ball hits the net, but boy, it had a chance to go. The Raiders got a nice look at it there, down by 3. Can't get it to go, but what a basketball game tonight. The Raiders look to be out of it early, down 13-4 at the end of the first quarter. Came back, outscored Baldwin Woodville 10-2 in the second quarter, and then outscored them 16-11 in the third quarter. But Baldwin Woodville really keyed by all those opportunities at the free throw line, able to take the win away from the Hudson Raiders tonight. Baldwin Woodville 43-40 over the Hudson Raiders. Let's go through the final scoring for the night. Hannah Worth, once again, 2 points. Paquette with 7. Kohler with 3. Jordan Huber with 5. Katie Fox with 3. Sarah Cryer, 6. Kendra Wittes tonight with 7 points. Ellie Whitaker with 4. And Kaylin Jenkins, the freshman, with 3. For Baldwin Woodville, it was Kiefer with no points tonight. Kulo, 4, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15 points for Kulo. 4 points for Netta Garretts. For Abby Klopp this evening, 5 points. For Michaela Slynn, she was 8 for 8 from the free throw line, and 10 points for her. And those free throws really damaged the Raiders' chances to win this game. Heidi Hines, 2 points. She was 2 for 2 from the line. And Alyssa Nilsson with 7 points this evening. So your final score this evening, Baldwin Woodville with a 43-40 lead, or 43-40 victory over your Hudson Raiders. If you're new to watching basketball and watching sports on the River Channel, we do extensive coverage of the football team and trying to pick up some basketball this year. So we'll be covering the girls team and the boys team as well this year, and hope to see you out at the games. And if you can't get a chance to come out to the games, you'll get a chance to watch some games here on the River Channel. We enjoy bringing it to you, and thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week.